How to teach children to read music. Music is an art, but it is also a science in that it is exact and precise. Musical composition is written down on a musical sheet using notations, and a musician should know how to read music. Musical notations reflect the elements that make up music, which are tone, pitch, duration, and intensity. Learning how to read music entails learning the symbols that represent the elements. Although the symbols on a musical sheet seem complex and difficult to a non-musician, it can actually be broken down into simple bits that even children learning how to play music can learn to read. So if you want to know how to teach children to read music, here are simple steps. 1. The staff. The staff is composed of 5 horizontal lines with 4 spaces in between. It is where you write your musical notations on. For children, they might associate this to the lines in their writing notebooks. It basically follows the same principle, and so it is a good starting point. Children learn and remember better when you associate difficult or unfamiliar concepts to those they already know and like. So do this a lot as you go along and teach your little one how to read music. 2. The clefs. There are 2 types of sound. The more prominent ones, or the treble, and the ones that basically provide the background of the composition, or rhythm, or the bass. So that the musician will know which is which, the staff is marked with the treble clef or the bass clef at the beginning of the staff. So your students will remember the symbols. You can make the clefs into characters and make names to call them, like Mr. Treble or Mr. Bass. It is also good to let them hear samples of treble and bass music, so that they get the difference and understand why they are written down separately. 3. The notes. The notes reflect the pitch or the number of times the musical instrument or the voice vibrates per second. The higher the frequency, the higher the pitch, and the higher they go up the scale. Thanks to the movie The Sound of Music, the Do-Re-Mi song is familiar enough that kids easily remember it. If you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and let them watch it. It can teach them to love music as well as help them with your music lessons. When they've got the entire scale down, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, it's now time to teach them where they're written on the staff. You can teach them how each note is represented by a letter. This is where mnemonics come in handy. For the treble staff, for example, children can remember the notes E, G, B, D, and F. With the mnemonics, every good boy does fine. These are written in the lines of the staff from the lowest to the highest, i.e., E on the lowest line, F on the highest, while the spaces have the notes F, A, C, and E, which spells face and are easy enough to remember. They occupy the spaces in between the lines in the staff, also from the lowest to the highest. 4. The duration. Now, every note is played in a specific duration. You can start with the whole note, which counts for a full beat. In a staff, you can see that there are sections in the staff separated with a straight vertical line, which is called a bar. Each bar counts for 1 beat, so if you have a whole note, you can only put 1 in a bar. You can use a diagram to explain it better to children that a whole note is made up of 2 half notes, and a half note is made up of 2 eighth notes, and so on and so forth, and you can go as far as the 32nd note, because the 64th note and the 128th notes are very rarely used, if at all. One effective technique in teaching this to children is to draw faces on the notes with a specific emotion, like the whole note would look happy, the half note angry, and the eighth sad, and so on, so the children can better remember and differentiate them. Tap the counts with your feet so they can appreciate the differences in beats for the notes. Go faster in exact intervals as you go down the diagram so they better get the idea. Those are the simple concepts in musical notations, and if they can get that down, with practice, they will be able to read simple musical compositions. Remember that when it comes to learning how to teach children to read music, they learn best by association between unfamiliar concepts to ones they like and are used to, like cartoon characters and colors. Happy teaching!